This is Kerrigan & Company. You know, folks, I've known the College Hype team for more than 20 years. They're a local screen print and embroidery company servicing the New England area and beyond. Now, what makes the team so special is that they have more than 35 years of experience and they do all the work in-house. I love their tagline, making a difference one t-shirt at a time. Speaking from experience, I know that is the truth. Learn more at collegehype.com. Hey everybody, it's Kim Kerrigan. Coming up on Kerrigan & Company today, I have a mystery guest. This always makes me so nervous. I hope I know who they are. This is Kerrigan & Company.
Kerrigan & Company is here for you. Yes, Kerrigan & Company is here for you.
Welcome everybody to Kerrigan & Company. So good to have you with us this week. Of course, presented by A&B Burger, our good friends. I am very excited about this week. Number one, keeping me company today is someone that I've known for a long time, and she is one of the most lovely individuals that I have ever met. And that's not just because she's sitting next to me. That really is a truthful statement. Kendra Petrone is with me. She, of course, is from Magic 106.7, the morning show. Hello there, my dear.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. It's so good to have you
This
here.
is so fun.
You like the studio, which is so impressive because you're a woman who lives in a studio all the time.
I know. Well, this is a really nice studio.
Well, I'm so glad that you like it. So for everybody at home, yes. I want them to know that they hear your voice. You are one of three on the morning show there on Magic, which is a fabulous show, by the way.
Thank you.
But for those of us who work in the business, we know you more as the woman with the biggest Rolodex in the business and one of the hardest working producers because you're the producer of that show in addition to being a talent on that show.
Yes.
And you've been a producer on a number of major shows in this city. And you just say Kendra. Nobody has, you're like Madonna. We don't have to say your last
cool.
name.
No, it is kind of cool. The one name kind of thing. It is kind of cool. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's been fun.
You were at KISS.
Yes, I was there for 8 years.
Yeah.
Yes.
Were you there when Sue was there?
You know, it's funny. I actually met her because she came and filled in for one of our co-hosts that went out on maternity leave twice. So that's how I got to meet her. So when she was actually on the show was before me, but then I met her as she was filling in for somebody else. And then it was like love at first sight.
Yeah.
And I knew I wanted to work with her from that moment on.
And then here you are together now with, and on shows like that, my experience, and I've been in the studio with you three numerous times, and I mean, you are a cohesive group. There's no two ways about that.
It's so much fun.
But you have to be in the mornings.
Yeah, you have to
because somebody's got to pick somebody else up on any given day because it's hard to work morning shifts.
It's really hard. The chemistry is the biggest thing. So if you don't have it, it doesn't work. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, everything is constantly moving so quickly. So we could have the entire show planned, but then if somebody comes in and there's, a hole in somebody's shirt or somebody forgot to, zip up their fly or something crazy and wild like that becomes the whole show. And you have to know your company. You sort of have to know, can you go after that? Can you make fun of that? Can you laugh about it? And I think with both David and Sue, I know I can do that. So it's a lot of fun.
It's a great show. And then you also produce that show. In addition to that, you also produce Exceptional Women with Sue.
Yes.
Which is an award-winning show, and it's fabulous. Yeah. And again, I have been blessed with the opportunity to be a guest on that show.
Very well-deserving.
Well, I don't know about that, but I certainly appreciated it. And you've had some incredible women on that show. Tell me, who is one of your favorites?
Oh my gosh. Well, we've had Idina Menzel. We've had Jane Lynch. God, to have to pick a favorite, I think I would have to say Idina Menzel. We had her on fairly recently, and I know she talked a lot about the arts and about television and music and about creating programs for younger kids because the arts are sort of disappearing in schools for younger kids. So teaching young children that performing in movies and TV, it's not just about being an actor, it's public speaking. It's being able to do the day-to-day communications that you need every day and how important it is. So she had a cool charitable aspect to her aside from just being, Elsa. So it's kind of cool. able to.
You just took the words right out of my mouth. Did you do any Frozen?
She did. She gave a little snippet.
Did she?
did. But
Yeah.
whenever we talk to them, it's always early in the morning. So it's like, we're asking them to jump right in at 7 a.m. It's a little tough. But,
yeah, it's a little tough
she was
to
great.
tune up at that hour.
Yeah.
She is such a talent. I mean, she really is. And it's so great to hear. That's why she's an exceptional woman, because she has other facets in her life that make her somebody really great.
And the great thing about that show is that it's not just famous celebrities, it's local celebrities. And it's national celebrities, it's local women, it's just women in your community doing extraordinary things. So it's nice to highlight the little things that people are doing every day to make a difference when they're not always the first ones to raise their hand and say, hey, look at what I've done. It's nice to recognize them for that.
Well, I have to tell you, at some point, I need to speak to your management. I need to come in and host it and feature you and Sue, because the two of you would be exceptional women. There's no two ways about that. Let's talk about being an exceptional woman, and let's talk about being a mom who works the kind of shift that you do. You have 3 children.
Yes.
And I don't think that you mind saying that you have 2 children who are on the autism spectrum.
Yes.
Which, you know, having 3 young children is challenging enough as a working mom. And then you add that extra layer of challenge to it. You came in the studio today and you were on your phone, coping with some issues that moms do
every day
when you're gone and at work. Talk to me about that. You know, how do you do it, and how do you put it together? And I know that that's a very simplistic question for what it is that you do.
It definitely, this isn't a very easy job to have with young children anyway, waking up at 3:30 in the morning and having to go and be gone until at least noon. But I guess what I've learned through my job and having 3 children, my daughter, who is a great helper, she's the oldest, and then 2 boys, both on the spectrum, I think I'm definitely learning to multitask at a level that I never thought I could do before. It's definitely challenging. You have to have a great support system. And I've got my husband, who's a police officer, who does the morning shift, which is kind of backwards and a little untraditional in many ways. But it's hard. You know, I worry that I'm not going to be able to give 100% at my job. I'm not going to be able to give 100% at home. So there's definitely a hard balance to find in between. But it's been tough. You know, as they get older, they're bigger kids, bigger challenges. So it is hard, but I know also where I work now with my coworkers, having them also understand that maybe I can't always make every event. Maybe I can't always be a part of every after-show interview. That's okay. You know, and I think what I've learned, especially now at 42 years old compared to when I first started, you know, in 2007. I don't know how old I was then. I don't want to think about it. But my mindset is definitely, I know what's important and I know where I need to be. And so finding the balance is hard. And I think I've learned to accept that I can pass on some things. It's okay. And it's not that I'm not giving 100% when I'm at work or at home. I know where my limits are.
Absolutely.
And I think being honest about that is key, being a mom and working full time, especially in a job like this.
Yeah, I always found as being a mom and being a career woman that I recognized where I was weak, and I either had to get help or I had to make changes to make that better. I think this concept that women can have it all is a little skewed. You know, women can't have it all. Women sacrifice to make it all work.
Oh, yeah.
And I see a young woman like you certainly in the heat of trying to make those decisions.
So I'll just tell you, in the beginning, when I worked for KISS 108, you know, a long time ago, my children were very small, and I only think I had 2 at the time, and they were babies. So I would balance between my mother-in-law and my mom, and when I would have to bring them to my mother-in-law's house, I would have to pack them in the car at 4:00 in the morning and drive to Peabody to drop them off before then going into Boston, going into work. And or my mom would have to come to me, you know, at 4:30 in the morning. So it was definitely an adventure, and I don't know how in the world we did it. I don't know how we're still married, but we are.
Well,
so here we are.
There you go. You've just named all the support around you, which I think is so important.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to have that support. You just can't do it by
Absolutely.
yourself. The phrase "it takes a village" is not a lie. It does take a village, and it especially does when you work the kind of hours that you do. And then in addition to the fact that you're working those early morning hours, you're tired.
Right. Well, and that's the thing too. Like kids, at least my children, don't seem to really understand mom's schedule still at 14, 10, and 11.
I think that never happened.
They have no idea. So, they come off their day from school and I can't go to sleep at 7 o'clock. They're going straight through until 9 o'clock at night. So I've learned to sacrifice sleep a little bit. It's okay. I know I'll get it at some point.
That's it. You will get there. You'll look back on all of this. I don't know if you'll ever laugh, but you will look back on it.
I've been laughing the whole way, just thinking, what else could you throw in my lap? But let's bring it on.
So talk to me about Radio Life. You guys have some amazing guests on that show.
Yes.
We talked about, exceptional women, but you have incredible guests that come from that Rolodex of yours. Tell me about who was one of your favorite guests and maybe one that you didn't love so much.
Oh my gosh. I would have to say my favorite all-time guest, it's a tie actually. I would say LL Cool J and Steven Tyler from Aerosmith. And I know those are kind of random people, but I have to say, LL Cool J was really amazing. Coming in studio, staying for multiple breaks of the show, and even when we were going through some of our entertainment updates and entertainment stories, he would kind of listen and go, wait a minute, that's not what happened. We had like the real life experience. And he was just so humble and wonderful. And same thing with Steven Tyler. He was just so down to earth for the fame and the level of fame that some of these actors and actresses and musicians have. They come in and it's like, they just want to have a normal conversation. Yeah. And I appreciate that, anybody from the New Kids on the Block, from, even Jane Lynch coming in studio as well. It's an incredible.
I'm so jealous that you met her.
She's wonderful. And we've had her on a few times. She had a Christmas album, and I know she comes every year, I think, to Boston around the holidays and performs. But it's really interesting to me to see people that are at such a high level of fame that come in and just want to laugh. And when we can ask a question that makes them laugh or kind of stumps them, I think, I've impressed you, your 40-year career, and I asked you something that nobody did before.
Right.
So, but I think LL Cool J and Steven Tyler were the most impressive to me.
Great,
out of all.
That's great. Yeah,
So.
What's really impressive too is that they come into the studio. A lot of times they don't want to come to the studio, and they certainly don't want to get up and come into the studio really early. So that's a pretty tough one to get them to do. And when you look back, who's been difficult? Can you say?
Oh, yes, I'm happy to say.
I know.
I'm happy to tell you.
I'd love to tell you.
Oh, yes, Marissa Tomei.
Really?
Yes. Not my favorite. Not my favorite. She was coming in to promote a movie that she was doing, and she was not happy about taking pictures. And I'd say she's the only one to this day that has ever given a hard time to anybody that I've ever known in this business to take a picture. Not only that she just wanted it on one side, she didn't want any pictures taken, and she looked great. She looked beautiful. Was very mean. Just folded her arms, just kind of looked me up and down, and went when I asked her for a picture, and I was like, "She's off my list. No, thank you."
I don't care what she's promoting.
But she just wasn't very kind, and I thought, wow, she's been around, Academy Award-winning actress.
Yeah, absolutely.
That kind of follows you forever. People start to sort of talk. So
when you meet these celebrities, they can either go well beyond your expectations, because I've always felt like I sort of keep my expectations low, and then they go beyond it, or they really shock you that it's like I would never have thought that she'd be someone who'd be problematic.
No, and I mean she's in a lot of the Marvel movies. She's everywhere, and I mean I wish that it was a better experience. Maybe she was having a bad day, but I don't know.
I don't know. When you you make your money like that, you're not having a bad day,
right? Exactly.
You get over your bad day, right?
Yeah, she's always my number one, and my husband is always proud to tell people, like, anytime my cousin Vinny's on or any movie, anything,
she's a problem.
She wasn't very nice to Kendra, so don't watch. But that would be it. Yeah.
Well, listen, I'm so glad that you are here today with us. We have a really interesting show.
Okay.
We have a mystery guest today. Our producer Dave likes to throw these in occasionally, and so it's someone that I don't know who's coming on, and you don't know who's coming on, and we hope that we know who they are, and we hope that we recognize them right off the bat, or it would be embarrassing for both of us, right?
We'll see.
And Nancy Berry, who is the editor of the Northshore Magazine, she's going to join us because this is their big best of edition that's just come out, which is always so fun.
so
Yeah, you're
much
a North
fun.
Shore gal, so
Oh,
you
I
appreciate
love
it
this.
just like
this
I
is like
do.
my favorite event ever.
Absolutely, you bet.
Yes.
So that's all coming up, in just a matter of minutes. And at the end of the show, we'll circle back. We'll do a little fast five on you and see if we can get you to answer some rapid questions. In the meantime, we're going to take a break. We're going to be right here waiting for you on the other side. This is Kerrigan & Company. You know, folks, I've known the College Hype team for more than 20 years. They're a local screen print and embroidery company servicing the New England area and beyond. Now, what makes the team so special is that they have more than 35 years of experience and they do all the work in-house. I love their tagline, making a difference one t-shirt at a time. Speaking from experience, I know that is the truth. Learn more at collegehype.com. This segment of Kerrigan & Company is brought to you by Lucia Lighting and Design, where people in the know go for the best possible lighting and design experience. Welcome back, everybody, to Kerrigan & Company. So great to have you with us today, and I'm so happy. Keeping me company today is Kendra Petrone. She, of course, is one of the hosts of Magic 106.7 in the morning. And are you having fun?
Yes, this is so much fun.
How do you like my studio?
I may never leave.
I call it my studio.
I may never
own
leave.
this.
It's gorgeous. I love it.
I'm so glad that you are here, and I'm really glad that our next guest is with us as well. She is the editor of Northshore Magazine. This is Nancy Berry, and Nancy, it's great to see you.
Nice to see you, Kim.
We're two North Shore gals.
I know, I love it.
I know.
And this is the latest edition of Northshore Magazine. It's the August edition, and it's the Bonds issue, which is Best of the North Shore. You know, Nancy, how long does it take to put this together?
We start a year out, so we begin the process. The event, the day the event ends,
Yes.
we start on the next
I'm
year.
sure.
So
Yeah.
it's a long process.
I can only imagine. I can only imagine. And the cover of this Bonds is so unique and so beautiful.
Yeah, this is Kate Keary. She's a local artist from Newburyport, and we wanted to use an artist to tie in with our charity of choice for the Bonds event, which is the Essex County Community Foundation, which supports a lot of nonprofits across the North Shore, in particular artists and galleries and things of that nature. And they're just wonderful. So we want that tie-in.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It is
It's a
beautiful.
beautiful
One of our
cover.
winners, the Peabody Essex Museum, a perennial winner.
And I've got to ask you, 19 years, is it 19 for the Bonds event? Is that,
Not
or is it 19 for the
Bonds,
magazine?
It's the 19 for the magazine. So Rick Sedler, who is the president and CEO of Northshore Magazine, started this idea. Let's
I was
do
going to
a
ask
best
you,
of.
how did it start? Because I
was-
always feel like the poor North Shore. I mean, everybody talks about, the Cape and the South Shore has, a lot of popularity. But we're the North Shore people. I wanted
Well,
to
it's
rep up
funny.
here.
He loves to tell this story that the first year they started out, they promoted this. They got about 12 mail-in votes. In a handful of categories, and over the years we've grown it. I've been with the magazine for 11 years, and we've just taken it from a little section in the magazine to just dedicating an entire August issue to the best of the North Shore. So it's grown, and we went from those 12 votes. We have over 150,000 votes every
I bet
year
you do.
in the Reader's Choice category. We have an Editor's Choice and a Reader's Choice. So it's
270 winners.
yes,
Are in this magazine, and they vary in categories.
Yes.
So there's big categories, and then
Yes.
they drop down,
Right.
sub categories. So what are the big ones?
Sure, it's dine, drink, play, live, renew, and shop.
There
Got
you
them
go.
6. We used to have
Ah.
8, but during COVID, we had to really pare down and change up what we were putting out there that 1 year, 2 years actually. So we kind of narrowed our scope a little bit, but I think we've hit a sweet spot with 6.
Sure.
yeah.
And then it drops down and there's categories underneath. So let's say it's Renew, for example. Then there would be like a med spa or a day spa.
Yes.
And there's
Hair salon
barber
for
shop,
women's.
barbershop.
Exactly,
Right.
yep.
Yeah. And so there's, in each one of those categories, there's a reader's choice and the editor's choice.
Yes.
Tell me how, I can understand how the readers choose.
Yes.
Tell me how you guys choose.
So we put together a bonds committee, and it's food writers from the North Shore. We have stylists going out to the shops. We have fitness gurus and the kind of feeding us information and going out and trying places. And I'm so glad I'm not the only test taster. I mean, when I started, I was out there in full force, and it wasn't pretty. No. I gained a lot of weight.
I bet so.
So we have more people helping me now, and it's a lot of fun. And then we kind of sit down and make those choices, and it's tough. It is very tough. This year, I will say, my edit note, I called it the year of the tie because we had so many ties in Reader's Choice, which was really unusual. We'll get a couple, maybe 2 a year, but this year I think we got 6 ties.
Wow.
So I incorporated more ties into Editor's Choice. Sometimes I call it socialist bonds because you can't pick a one because there's so many good ones. So we have a few ties there this year.
Well, what does it mean to a business if they're named?
Yeah, it means, I feel it means a lot. We see it on Instagram when they receive the award. They're posting. So excited. It's like a badge of honor to win this. I mean, so many people are on that ballot in different categories. You can think of, how many people go on for General Excellence or Best Burger or Best Pizza. And when you are Reader's Choice and you rise to the top, it's just elation and excitement and
has to boost their business.
Absolutely. I think the community, it's camaraderie in the community too. It's friendly competition and they're so supportive, but working at Northshore, I've found I'm just so amazed by these individual entrepreneurs who have started these businesses and how they, year after year, they do rise to the top. They're, they are excellent at what they do and they really care about their businesses. It's so good to see. And I love to write about it and be a part of it. It's fun.
I will say I see a lot. They always have their plaque, their framed plaque, or whether it's in a frame or if it's on the wall or on the door. Right. Yeah. A lot of businesses, near where I live in Middleton, I see them all the time, and they're so proud. And I feel like, ooh, this is like my place got recognized, even though I had nothing to do with it whatsoever. But it is really cool. What can you tell us about the event that's coming up and what people can expect?
So this is such a fun event, and when they say it's the best thing happening on the North Shore, even in Massachusetts in the summer, it's amazing. We have Soul of Boston coming, which is the band. Chris Rocks is our DJ. It's August 15th. It starts at 5:30 for VIP, and 6:30 for general admission.
It's at the Danversport Yacht Club.
It's at the Danversport Yacht Club, yes.
So fun.
And we have over 50 restaurants, breweries, distilleries coming, so you can come and try and taste and enjoy. And some of our big sponsors, supporters are the Beauport Hotel, which is also a perennial winner.
Beautiful,
Sherry Zizek, the owner of that establishment, she's such a wonderful person in the community, but she's also created this incredible hotel. And
Lucia Lighting, I have to throw in because they are one of our sponsors, and they are also a big sponsor.
Lucy Dearborn is a dear friend of mine. I love Lucy so much, and she is sponsoring. We're doing a home pavilion, so it's Olson Lewis Architects are designing, and Lucia Lighting is involved. Anderson Windows. So we've got a whole bunch of people coming, and you can see a lot of fun things. But I think the best part is going to be eating and tasting and
so much fun.
You do a lot of eating, a lot of sipping. It's a lot of fun.
And I can attest to that.
And I think we have, it's about 1,200 attendees. So it's a big deal. A lot of people show up for this.
Absolutely.
And we do have a promo code for you, Kim, for your show, for a discount, 10% discount for your audience. It's just Kim, Kim.
Fantastic. We will put that up on social media immediately today, and hopefully folks will pay attention and get to that event. It's a fabulous event. I can't say enough. I've been, and it's a terrific time. Let me ask you a couple of questions, Nancy, about, I'm just so interested. I have a daughter who graduated from J School a year ago. And, she's a writer, and I worried about her getting into that world, because we all know that this is a tough world to be in, and it's especially tough now.
Yes.
So to have like a North Shore magazine that has survived the way it has, talk to me about why you think that's the case, and what the future of this kind of circular is.
Sure, it's amazing. Again, we're going to go back to COVID.
Yeah.
Everything is before and after COVID.
Absolutely.
We grew our readership, I think, by 15% in just a few months. And the magazine really, I feel it is very well respected in the community. We report on the community. We highlight all of the best places, of course, to dine and shop. But we also talk about important things like the environment and nonprofits and what people are doing to help people in need on the North Shore. So it's really a lifestyle magazine, and we have great writers and great photography. And I think people like to sit down with a magazine and go through. People still like that. I have to believe that.
Yeah.
This is my job.
I think you're right. I think you do. Now you guys have a great digital version of it.
Yes, we have the digital version, of course, our website, Instagram, Facebook, all of those components. But the magazine, the print magazine, is our lifeblood, and we have a lot of readership, and it is well respected in the community. And I think because we celebrate the community, and people want to know what's going on out there. So
Yeah, one of the things that I think is so great about the magazine is that it stays true to what it is, which is the North Shore Magazine.
Yes.
It would be very rare that you venture out beyond the North Shore. And when I sit down, I can read Boston Magazine.
Yes.
So when I get at home, I have
That's
this,
right.
and I really appreciate that because it's where I live.
Yeah, it's amazing how many incredible businesses there are on the North Shore. The restaurants. I mean, some of my favorite restaurants, I will go right through Boston.
Yeah, sure.
And go up to the North Shore. Il Ponte is one in Woburn. Is a wonderful Italian restaurant, and the chef is from Italy, and he's a Michelin-starred chef in Italy, and came and opened a small restaurant here, and it's out of this world. Another Barbara Lynch is up in Gloucester now with the Rudder, and that's really exciting for us. And she won best new restaurant this year.
Yeah.
So a lot of good things happening.
Great. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Well, it's a great, and I'll tell you, it's really cool too, because you guys, in addition to the fact that you honor a lot of the businesses and you highlight them, you highlight people as well.
Yes.
So that's another big issue that you have coming out, right? Which you have Shakers and Movers.
Yes, it's top influencers on the North Shore. We're expanding that to 25 this year. So it was 12 last year, but there's so many worthy people. We want to cover more this year.
That's fantastic. Yeah. Well, the magazine is terrific. The event is awesome.
Amazing.
It is on August the 15th. Just want to remind everybody.
August 15th.
And we will put up that code so that you can get a percentage off, get your tickets, and be sure you go and enjoy it because it's a terrific event. Thank you so much for coming
so
in.
Great to see you.
It was
I
great
hope to see you at the event.
Yeah,
Of
on
course.
the 15th. I'd love to
Okay.
come. It's a great event. All right, everybody stay with us. This is Kerrigan and Company. This weekend, August 10th and 11th, is tax-free weekend in Massachusetts. If you're looking for incredible lighting options for inside or outside your home, you need to go to Lucia Lighting and Design at 311 Western Avenue in Lynn. While there, make sure to visit their new Mia Lucia Design Studio, where all of the products are made in America. So why not shop at the best lighting store in Massachusetts and save money at the same time this tax-free weekend? Learn more and take a virtual tour at lucialighting.com. That's lucialighting.com.
If you like rum, you're going to love Rumson's Rum, New England's most award-winning rum brand. Rumson creates distinctive and savory flavor profiles by hand-selecting and marrying the finest barrel-aged Caribbean rums. The spirits are then blended and finished in the New England Rum House. Choose from Rumson's Gold, Spiced, Grand Reserve, or Coffee Rum, which is smooth and sweet with a warm roasted coffee flavor, a hint of vanilla, and a decadent buttery finish. Find Rumson's at liquor stores or ask for it at your favorite restaurant. Learn more at rumsons.com. That's rumsons.com. Rumsons. Life lived, life enjoyed.
This segment of Kerrigan and Company is brought to you by Bill Haney's North Shore Music Theater. Get your tickets to Tootsie, playing August 13th through the 25th at nsmt.org. Welcome back, everybody, to Kerrigan and Company. I'm Kim Kerrigan. It's brought to us today by A&B Burger. Kendra is keeping me company today from Magic. And Kendra, this is only the second time that this experience has happened, so I'm so glad you're here to share it with me. So producer Dave decides sometimes that he wants a mystery guest.
Okay.
So we cannot see the mystery guest. The mystery guest is joining us by Zoom.
Okay.
And we can't see this individual right now, but we can ask 3 questions.
Okay.
And after the 3 questions, after the mystery guest answers the questions, if we don't guess who it is, then the mystery guest reveals him or herself to us. Okay?
All right.
So I think that the mystery guest can hear me. So, mystery guest, we're going to start with me asking the first question. And the first question is, do I know you?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. I guess my question is, what do you do for a career or a job?
Not too much.
Not
This
much.
is very hard.
All right.
You've only done this twice? Oh, no.
Yeah. And so the first I get a laugh, and so I thought I recognized it, but now I don't know if I do, and not much is not good. Okay. Mystery guest, do you work in media or entertainment?
Are they not the same?
Are they not the same? Okay. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Okay. I'm going to just take a guess.
Okay.
Okay. My guess is that on the other side of the screen is Carolyn Cruz.
That is the nicest thing anybody's ever said to me.
But that's
reveal.
Who is it? Susan Warnick.
Hi, guys.
Do you know, I was seconds away. I knew it was a TV, a news anchor. I knew it. I just couldn't figure out where the voice was, but I knew it was TV. I knew it.
Hello there. How are you?
I want you to know that I've been on hold ever since you started this show, hoping to get on it, okay? I've been begging, David, okay? So now that I'm on, I'm not getting on. You know.
Well, first off, let me ask you, where are you going? You're in the car.
Kim, I know you know, Kendra, I don't know if you do. I live in Florida now.
Yes.
I still come back up a lot. Since retiring from Channel 5 10 years ago. Wow. I come up for charity stuff all the time, but I live in Florida, and that's where I am right now.
Fantastic.
I am in Stuart, Florida, and it's nicer weather here than you have.
I was going to ask that. It looks beautiful, but do you have the humidity, or is it a little bit drier, a little nicer than we have here?
Well, I don't know. Take a look at my hair, and then you answer that question yourself. I think it's self-explanatory.
So Susan Warnick, oh, love, I haven't seen you for such a long time. It's terrific to see you. Let me start there. You know, you're somebody that you and I never worked in the same television station, and yet we came to know each other through charity events and just different media events. And you've always been somebody that I've held close to my heart. So it's terrific to see you.
I feel the same way, Kim, and it was fun when we did our little bits on the radio.
Yeah.
That was like probably 8 years ago. But I was always a huge fan of yours, and of course still am. Kendra, you too. I mean, it's just great to see you guys doing this.
Yeah.
This is what it's all about now, you know?
That's the thing, you know, you've got to adjust with the times, and digital is where it's at this point. So listen, tell me, how do you feel about being retired? A Susan Warnick retired is sort of hard for me to imagine. How does it feel?
It feels great because now first of all, I'm really happy that I'm not working now, because I think I probably would have been fired for saying something on the air that I shouldn't have said.
I come very close.
Leaving 10 years ago worked out really well for me. And like I said, now I can do the things that I want to do. I'm still involved in a lot of charity stuff. Rosie's Place, for example. Kim, you and I have been involved with Rosie's Place for years, and Spalding Hospital and Bethany Healthcare Center. So it's been great for me because, let's just say that they're thinking of changing the name of the airline from JetBlue to Jetsu, because I'm on it so often. I love it. It's great.
So you get here to Boston pretty frequently. Does the city seem different to you, or does everything seem pretty much the same?
Oh, my goodness. Every time we fly in, we look at the airport, and that's just amazing. The biggest news in my life is that I'm married. And I know some people are rolling their eyes and going, again? But I finally made a good decision. I mean, I've met this wonderful guy. His name is Rich Reynolds. And the name may be familiar to people on the North Shore because in the 60s and 70s, he was the lead singer in the rock band Aerosmith. No, that's not right. He was Richie and the Renegades. But it was a very popular band in its day. And so we met about 6 years ago, and we got married about 2 years ago. And we go back and forth all the time because his family, he's got kids up there. I've got nieces and my brother and sister-in-law. So every time we fly in, Logan is definitely different. And the seaport, oh my gosh. The only thing that stays the same about the seaport is Steve DiFilippo.
Yeah.
Everything else changes.
That's exactly right. Wow.
That is so true.
And, Susan, I just have to say this. I know you're enjoying retirement, but for me, as a girl that wanted to work in media, and it's the same way I feel about Kim as well. For a girl that grew up in Methuen, Massachusetts, that wanted to get into television or radio, and my whole life I was told, you got to go out to California, you got to go to New York, there's nothing in Boston, there's nothing here for you, you have to go far away. Watching, women like you and women like Kim on my TV here locally was something that inspired me to know I could do it, that it was reachable, that it was doable. And I'm certainly not up to that class level yet, but I hope that maybe I can withstand it, as long as you both have and be able to do such a great job. But, I think it really speaks volumes to have women like both of you here in Boston that have become such a staple and such icons for women like me to be able to come in this industry and survive. So just my little thank you.
We're very proud of you, by the way. We're very proud of you.
I hope so. I mess up a lot.
It's great that you're doing it.
Absolutely.
What I really like now is that there are a lot of Bostonians down here, and I still get recognized a lot, which of course squeezes my heart. But what I really like is when somebody comes up to me and I don't know. I'm thinking that they're maybe in their late hundreds, and they say to me, "I grew up watching you."
I know.
And I'm like, "Oh, that's nice."
I know.
But I was very lucky, Kim. You are still enjoying a wonderful career. Boston's the best city in the world to do it. Don't you guys agree?
Yes.
Yeah, I do. I do, because Bostonians love their people. Once you sort of break through that plane, they hold you pretty dear. So they're very good to you. What do you think about television these days? It's sure changed, hasn't it?
How about those Red Sox?
Good answer. Good answer. I was afraid to ask that question.
Yeah. I'm not afraid to ask it because it's different, and I know it is.
For a much longer conversation than we can have right here, Kim. But suffice it to say that I'm thrilled that you're doing what you're doing, and that people like Martha Raddatz and Cheryl Fiandaca and some of the greats are still in there every day, despite all odds.
Yeah.
Holding the banner high of journalism.
Yeah, it's a different world than the one that you and I worked in and that we wanted to work in, and that's not to say that it's bad. It's just a very different place.
Different.
Yeah.
We have a television station down here in West Palm Beach, WPBF, and it's a Hearst broadcast station. So it's a sister station to my alma mater, Channel 5. And I still do some stuff for them, and it's really kind of fun because if there's a bad storm, they put me on the air.
Yeah.
And I get down to the station frequently, and to see some of the technology that has changed as well is mind-blowing. And it's great to see.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, when will you be back in Boston, and what will you be doing when you come back?
I'll be back at the end of the month for my niece's shower. And then after that, I'm coming up for an event for Yeah, why don't I invite everyone to my niece's shower? I could just give out the address right now.
Go for it. We all like a party.
Great time at my sister-in-law's house. And then I'm coming up for Spalding for a luncheon at Spalding, and then later in September coming up for. I mentioned Bethany and the Lomborgs, Jim and Rosie Lomborg. You know, people, Kim, who I know you love dearly. They have a charity that we raised money for cancer survivors down on the South Shore, and that's also next month. So there's a lot going on, and it's all exciting, and I feel so grateful that people still invite me.
Well, it's, it must make you feel, living in Florida, it keeps you attached to the community, which is so great.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And I just want to tell everybody who may be watching, I look way better in person.
Well, you know what I was going to ask you, now you're remarried again. I was going to see if you guys are going to have any children or, what's going to happen.
A couple people thought we had to get married. That is a good point on your part. But those rumors we have laid to rest, and I've said, no, I am not pregnant. I just look it.
You're funny. I'm telling you, I have been to events with you, and there is nobody that I have ever seen knock a live auction out of the park like Susan Warnick at the Melmark event. I'm still thinking about it. My husband is still talking about it. He's like, God, I want to hire her for everything we do. You are so much fun to be around, and it's such a pleasure.
Well, thank you, dear. Thank you. I'm available to volunteer or for hire, anything.
Well,
so,
you are the best. Hey, listen.
If you ever need me to help with something, please don't hesitate.
Well, what I want to do is when you're back in the city, you get hold of me or Dave, and let's get you in here where you can sit next to me, okay?
Oh, I'd love it.
Okay.
You bet I will.
Okay. Thank you for being our mystery guest today. You are the best.
Thrilled to have been asked and delighted to see you guys, and we will see you soon.
Okay.
Thank you.
Take care. Mwah. I'm sending kisses. Susan Warnick, our mystery
Oh my gosh.
guest.
That was great. I actually was thinking for a quick second, I was going to say Joyce Kalehwick, and I was like, wait, no, that's not her voice. But somebody on TV, it's got to be. So.
Well, I said Carolyn Cruz only because Carolyn announced this week that she is retiring from WKLB, and we have wanted to get her on, but her schedule doesn't work with the time that we're taping.
Oh, right, because this is when she's on, right?
Right. And our producer was real sly when he came in today and said, did you hear that Carolyn's retiring? I thought, is that who it is? And he's just planting that seed in my mind.
Sneak.
All right, listen, we still need to wrap things up with you, and I've got those fast five that I've got to throw at you here. So everybody stay with us. You're listening to Kerrigan & Company.
Tootsie is the new Tony Award-winning musical being heralded as the funniest Broadway musical in years and musical theater heaven. On stage at Bill Haney's Northshore Music Theater from August 13th through August 25th. Tickets at nsmt.org.
If you're looking for the latest and best technologies for skincare treatment, look no further than Sienna Aesthetics in Beverly. Sienna offers Botox, fillers, hydrofacials, and anti-aging facials, chemical peels, acne facials, microneedling with radio frequency, laser hair removal, and so much more. The fully certified medical staff at Sienna Aesthetics in Beverly will be with you every step of the way, making the process both educational and relaxing. Book your appointment now at siennaaesthetics.com. That's siennaaesthetics.com. This segment of Kerrigan & Company is brought to you by Sienna Aesthetics Medical Spa. Take years off your face with the very latest technologies at Sienna Aesthetics in Beverly. Welcome back, everybody, to Kerrigan & Company. It is time to wrap things up. This has been such a great edition of Kerrigan & Company. I've had so much fun, Kendra.
I have too.
Thank you for enduring my second,
I know, that's
mystery
fun.
guest.
I want to come back every time now and just watch and see who it's going to be. This is
I actually
cool
had
stuff.
no idea it was going to be Susan.
I didn't either. I could. It sounded like a TV voice, but I mean, it could be anybody.
I have this quick Susan story. I should have told it when she was on here. But one time I was over at the Seaport for some kind of charity function, and she was standing at the bottom of the stairs, and I was coming down, and she was there for the same function. And she looks at me and she goes, "Why are you wearing high heels?" And I said, "Well, because they match the outfit." And she said, "Well, I can't wear high heels anymore, so I don't want you to wear high heels, so I want you to take your shoes off." I said, Susan, I'm not going to take my shoes off. I want you to take your shoes off. She was adamant she wanted me to take my shoes off. It was very funny. And she's just, that's who she is.
No
right?
holds barred. Yeah, definitely.
Right. No filter. She's just, she's there, which is what makes her so endearing. And she's so lovely.
She's fun.
Nice of her to be with us, that's for sure. Hey, we do this thing called College Hype Fast 5.
Oh, boy. Okay.
College Hype, making a difference. One T-shirt at a time. Visit collegehype.com today. Are you ready, ma'am?
I'm ready.
Which is your favorite Boston sports team?
The New England Patriots.
Is it true that you have a tattoo somewhere on your body related to Pat the Patriot?
That is true.
Where is it?
On my shin. It was supposed to be my foot, but it's pretty much on my shin. Yeah.
Well, with time, maybe it'll drop and be under your foot. Who knows, right? Who's your favorite celebrity interview?
Oh, LL Cool J.
LL Cool J. Best movie you've seen this summer?
Oh, gosh. Oh, my gosh. Don't laugh. It's got to be the Garfield movie with my children.
That is not surprising at all. When you have small children, that's the only one you get to see, right? You sleep through the other ones.
That's it.
What's the best concert you've ever seen?
Oh God, the best concert was probably my first. No, scratch that. Chris Stapleton at the MGM Music Hall. Scratch that. I had to think twice.
I love Chris Stapleton. He is one of my favorite artists. Our producer, Dave, does not like him. Yep. I know.
Oh, we're going to have a conversation with him.
I knew there was something not right about Dave, and now I've learned what it is.
It was the best show I've ever seen. It was amazing.
Hey, listen, College Hype wants everybody to have one of their T-shirts, so here's one for you. They're so soft. They're so great. And they're a great sponsor for us, so we appreciate them. I appreciate you. You were up early this morning. I said that the day that we were taping, I actually was leaving for the gym, and it was 5:43, and you were up talking about being on this podcast. Mm-hmm. So you've been up a long time, and I really appreciate you taking the time to be here.
This is so much fun for me. It's fun to sort of be here and being able to answer questions. Usually I'm the one asking them. It's so much fun.
It's a big difference when you're other side. Right?
It is. It's hard to come up with answers. It's not as easy as it seems.
I think that being the interviewee makes we interviewers better at what we do.
Yes,
because
agreed.
You have a little more sympathy for what's going on the other side.
I do. But this has been fun. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Kendra, continued success.
Thank you.
I'm so proud of who you are and what you do. It's really terrific.
Thank you. Well, it's a pleasure to be here, and thank you because, like I said to Susan earlier, you were part of that group of women that I got to watch and say, oh my God, all right, so women can do this here. It can be possible here in Boston.
We can do it all. As we said earlier, I said you can't do it all. You can do it all, but you do make sacrifices along the way, and I see you're making some good ones for good purposes.
Thank you.
All right, everybody, that's going to wrap it up. We're so glad that you could be with us here on Kerrigan and Company. Be sure you follow us on social, by the way. We need you to follow us on social. We'll see you again next time. Thanks, everybody, for listening to Kerrigan and Company. To find out who will keep me company and be my co-host on the next episode, be sure you follow us on Instagram, Facebook, X, and TikTok. Kerrigan and Company is recorded at the Big Night Studios at the TD Garden in Boston. You can view the podcast on YouTube and listen to it wherever you get your podcasts. Be sure you tell a friend. The executive producer of Kerrigan and Company is David Thompson. Our engineer is Peter Hurley, and our social media managers are Grace Kerrigan, Colby Thompson, and Riley Thompson. See you next time.